Are we ready? Well, I know I am. So, whether or not you are, it's time for another episode of the IndieTales Game Dev live stream. Hey, my name is Adam, you other Pixel Pals. I've already said the name of the show. So without further ado, it's time to go. Welcome everyone to the, what is it? It's the Monday edition of the stream. Today we're working on more Insignia dev and I'm quite excited to finish this pitch deck. I've been working on it over the weekend as well as doing some tests on potentially like an Android build of the demo so that I can take a tablet with me and just whip the thing out. It does work. It is functional. It's quite unfortunate because this tablet being ever so slightly underpowered, it's a pretty underpowered laptop, runs the demo at like 40 FPS, 50 to 40 to 30, depending on what's going on. Sometimes goes into like a bit of a crawl in some scenes, and I can't really afford to have it not be can't really afford to have it not be great. So I got my controller here and I got this going here, and hopefully that's gonna go bip. There we go. Hey, see, it works. So, you know, you can maybe not. Yeah, you can see we can run around. Oh, that's very slow. Well, not like that. I think it's in battery saving mode because it's running out of battery. Yeah, that'd be it. Doesn't look very good there, but I promise you it was running just fine earlier. So yeah, you know, it's technically working, but I'm not super happy with that. I'm thinking we might pick up like something with a little more pep. It might even run on my phone just fine. I also have like another device that it probably also won't run well enough on. I got my little Retroid Pocket 2 Plus. Look at that. That's cool. But yeah, again, we're not looking at 60 FPS. We're more looking at like 30, 40. So probably neither of these devices are going to be like good enough. Again, phone probably will run it well enough, but yeah. I might just take I'm in the market for like a new laptop. So I might be able to justify with the grant funds, maybe picking up a Surface something. I need something that's like, the graphics don't have to be amazing, but has a good CPU so that I can develop on it and a good battery life. I want something thin and light rather than like beastly. So I think we're getting to a point now with laptops that like it's, you know, you can get 16 gigs of RAM and a decent CPU for like pretty cheap. And I'm even considering like a Snapdragon something. We're at a good point here. The best time to get a laptop would be like next year this time, because I feel like the second generation of those Snapdragon devices are going to be really on point. The software support for Windows with Snapdragon will be much better, Windows on ARM. But and it'll be cheaper because you'll be able to get this year's devices next year. Whereas at the moment, you're looking at like Gen 1 of those Snapdragon devices, which are, they're okay. And the support's probably still a little bit meh, but I know you can run Unity on them. So that's good. All right. I want to say a big welcome and thank you to everybody who's here in chat. Big thanks to, I should probably do a quick little stream labels. Quick refresh so that we get the most recent followers. Big thanks to, well, I'll say big thanks to Hadler HT for the most recent follow, and Lazy Guru for the most recent subscription. Thank you so much. Those of you in YouTube, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, that's about it. So it's good that I got the demo functional on those devices. It means that the build is getting quite stable at this point. There are a couple of cutscenes that don't quite play properly, and they do soft lock the game. So I will need to iron those out. I've also got obviously like a bunch of to-do things, but at this point, the to-do list is kind of like, you know, if you can get to the end of the demo and I can zip you around to different parts of it, it doesn't really matter how finished this stuff is. It's more important that I can get a playable 5 or 10 minutes showcasing different bits and pieces in the right points for GDC. And obviously then, you know, the rest of this is just additional chapter 1 to-do list stuff. Mickey Nil, thank you for giving that sub to the Shipler. Mickey Nil, you'll be very pleased to hear that we've got my brother is doing some designs for t-shirts at the moment. Not necessarily merch, but t-shirts for us, at least. Maybe they'll make their way to you at some point. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So it's now 1:40, which puts us about here. And I'm just basically rounding off this pitch deck. It's pretty much done. I just need to send it off. Not pretty much done. It will be done by the end of the day, and I will hopefully send it off tonight to whoever I haven't yet sent it off to, which is everybody. I haven't sent it to anybody, so I'll just start sending it off to people. Let me show you where we're at. I'm pretty happy. There's like 1 or 2 slides I need to polish up. Maybe another one. There's like, these last 5 need a bit more love and care, but let me know how you feel about the story stuff. So don't pay no attention to this bit. I'm gonna do something fun here. Let me know if you think this idea is cool. So the idea is I take all of these, let me like unlock them. And then this one, oh man, hang on a second. Control Shift L, okay, well now we know. So this one won't have one at all. Just hide that. But then these, the idea is that I could be able to go like and then hide them. And then as you go through the deck, we'll do this one will be like contents. And then this will say like pitch, but what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll show that. So then it's like, now we are 1 section in, and then this will still say pitch, and we'll go like this. Maybe this could be like mechanics. Yeah, a little progress tracker. It's not quite ready yet, but you know, you see what I'm going for here. I don't actually have the exact number yet either. So this is kind of like, it's already wrong, but anyway, let me take you through it. So we have insignia, very good. We have table of contents, maybe a little cramped here. I think I was seeing what I was trying to do there. Hang on a second. Got to lock all those again. Lock. Yeah, I might expand this a little. So this is me, table of contents, great. And then I got rid of that cheeky second slide here. I just think, I don't know, if it's controversial to mention other games in your slides, I just don't need to go there. So puzzle, platform, action, adventure, but the special abilities are hidden within enemies. Great. And then we've got this, which you've seen, capture the magic. That's how you play the game. It's what the thing is. And then we've got soar to new heights. I've spaced, they're still not quite right, but I've spaced these out so that they're not all cramped in the middle. So it's like 1, 2, 3 that way horizontally. And then I brought the fire down because before it was kind of without, it was like up. Well, it's still not, maybe like that. And I can bring this up to like here. I can align them all maybe. I don't know. It's not quite right. Something about it. It's a bit cramped on the edges. You want to see falling almond closer to wall grip almond? Yeah, for me it was something about getting this more symmetrical. This and this being closer. Otherwise it's like a big gap here. It's weird. It's like, do you think of it as equal spacing here or equal space? Like, what is the logic? I feel like you can look at it any way and take similar things from it, but maybe like that. Maybe if I bring this across a little, then it's a bit better, especially if I do like this. It's like, what is the... Yeah, I don't personally see it. I've been looking at it too long, so I don't really know what you're seeing that I'm doing right. But anyway. So, I do like these aligned. Let's keep going though. I don't want to spend too long on this. Maybe these could be larger, like... Anyway, it's good. And then we've got this one, which is about unlocks, which is cool. This one about smithing, still cool, I think. And then this. So it's like just a little character bio on Armin. I might redo this portrait art just to make it like not even to make it not blue. I don't mind that it's sketchy. I just think it's a bit rough at the moment. So it's like name Armin, age 18, home Orenstead. Just a bit of a even magic. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This needs a bit of work on it. I agree. I did have this. I was trying really hard to get this in like that, but there was no way to get the text anywhere near any of this without hurting the frame. Unless you're okay with the text being like that and maybe like darker. I don't know. It's not, I mean, it's not terrible like that. It's just not quite right. And then if you bring it like inside of here, you kind of head over the town. It's just it's not great for white. You know, we could go for like one of the brand colors, like this sort of, this, nope. This kind of thing, that doesn't work. This kind of thing, hey, I'm getting a phone call. That definitely doesn't work. One sec, pals. Yo, we're back. Does Armin see the rune fly into him, or is it a game visual thing? Good question. I don't have a big answer for that question though. We got music playing. What's going on here? Very quiet all of a sudden. Oh, it was the end of a track. Yeah, maybe we do a bit of a drop. That's not bad. What if we go like a really hard shadow? Might flow a bit better with the pixel art. Not pixel art, the art. That's okay, this is not. Maybe just like that. I don't know. It's a bit... I don't think it's great, if I'm being honest. It feels like a bit of a compromise, but oh, just the same but down on the bottom. It's going to be hard. Yeah, the yellow is too difficult, I think. It clashes way too much. Let's just try them both again. It is a bit of a shame. I still think this is clean. I think it's still a good result. Might even just do that. What do you think? 1 or 2? 1, 2. We could do a poll. I think 1, just to keep it clean. I know it really sucks that we can't get this layer, because I think it's really nice how it adds kind of like it gives us depth with the scene, whereas here we can't really see the foreground, but Armin standing in it helps. So I think ultimately being able to read the text is more important. Is this a new game? It's a game that I've been making for a while. Trace the trees and the twisty trunk. Trace the trees? Trace them with... Trace the trees and the twisty trunk. What does that mean? Do you mean like bring this in? Like bring this part here over the front of that? Like mask it in? Maybe there's maybe something here where we make a shape that's like just a little bit, we like force a fake extra layer and we put that underneath here or something. No, that's not gonna work. No, I think I'll just let it be. I think I'm gonna let it be. If it's controversial, keep it as it is. I'm keeping it like this. It is a bit of a shame that it doesn't really play nice with my positioning rules. So like, I don't want to go lower than this line with the text, but that cramps this. So like, otherwise I'd have to bring this up, which is even worse. Like the less that we creep in, the better. So, I mean, I might just go a couple pixels just to give us a bit more breathing room, but I'm not going beyond that. Yeah, I mean, like seeing it come in would be nice. I just can't. It's too much effort for something that's... I'm realizing pragmatically what the value of each of these slides is. The overall impression is more important than this stuff. Okay, then we've got this slide, which I did try I tried a lot to make this look better, the contrast, because there's very high contrast. All the characters are a bit hard to see, but I think the overall effect and the color is more important. So places to go, people to see. On his journey, Armin travels to towns full of colorful characters. They come in all shapes and sizes, and so do their troubles. Still, there's always a useful reward for lending a helping hand. So what I did, you'll see it in a bit. So this is like all of the positive characters being behind Armin. I mean, we could definitely, you know, duck it down a little bit. I just don't want it to lose too much of its pop. You know, like at a certain point, it's like, oh yeah, now I can really see. But like, you kind of got to be really careful with that. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't, there's a thing that I haven't done in this version of the pitch, which is I haven't desaturated anything in any of these. It's all full color. So to do it here would be an exception. Yeah, it is very noisy right now. But in a way, that kind of cacophony is like what I'm going for a little. I don't want to outline the characters. I don't think that would be right. It wouldn't be how the game is. Maybe, I mean, God, maybe we could do something like this. I wonder if I could do... an opacity mask on this thing. Like, take this, go like, I hate users mask. Something like, that's such an IGN gradient. Something like this, where we sort of go by the top, it's fully transparent. Oh, that just reads like a purple gradient, doesn't it? I think if we take this, I mean, we could just sort of duck it down a little where the characters are. That's about as good as I got. Does the color of this matter? No. Yeah, but I just don't want to do, like, I just don't think it creates an atmosphere that I don't want in this shot, you know? The alternative would be to take the slide and make it black. Or a different color, like a yellow or something. Maybe like this green, so that it blends a bit more there. That probably works a bit better. Like if we pick one of the colors that's in the scene. But we are still darkening, you know. Oh, a blur with pixel art? I mean, I haven't done it yet. Not once. Again, this is one of those things where like you don't want to do too much mucking around with this stuff. Because otherwise, if it's not a technique that I use, then it, like, you know, you want fewer things, fewer techniques. So the idea here would be to take this, delete it, grab this, go full opacity. I mean, even that wasn't too bad. But yeah, I mean, you go effect, layer blur. It kind of does something to it that's... I don't know. You could even try to do like the tilt shift, where you go like this. You grab it. We'd have to mask it again, which is now, it's now gone. Actually, hang on, maybe I still got it. So you bring this back in and you blur it. You do that kind of thing. It looks cheap. It's not, it doesn't feel bad, but it also, I just think like, why not just like, just let it go. I don't think this looks bad. Personally. We could try to like shift it around so that it's a bit, it's like the best possible photo. You know, maybe like the horns here are a bit better if we do that, or like we get Armin behind this shadow, or... I think like confidently not giving a crap about contrast is kind of a flex. I know it's weird to say that. Yeah, I'm just going to let Armin be high contrast, put him in the door frame, and just let it go. That's perfect right there. Cool. And then, and then this, which it's not the perfect version of this, but I actually think it does exactly what I wanted it to do. So, gosh, we were gonna put screenshots of the game in here and have them like masked in with brush strokes and stuff. But I think it works better this way. I think we were doing, my brother and I were doing some thinking about like what the jobs of the slides should be. And these, we got these 5 was basically Armin goes on a journey And what is the journey? And the journey is you start in the town, you go into the world, you go to a dungeon, you fight bosses. So the idea of having this be the town and the people, this be the world you explore, and then this be a bit of dungeon. It's really visual. It's just showing. It's pretty game, pretty stuff. Characters, enemies, abilities, dungeon setting, and then the equivalent shot of the town shot, but this is boss fights. He's just giving thoughts. He's going with me to GDC, so he's helping me with strategy a little bit. So back to this one. I'm pretty happy with this, I think. The purple, I think it works. It doesn't have to be purple. Could be anything, but the purple works. So I basically just did, let me know if this comes through. What I was trying to do with this was give the viewer an impression that the game is not linear, and it's not Mario 3. It's not overworld map with things that you select to go into levels. It's not levels. It's Metroidvania-y, but with a path that you have to go through. Like there's a main path, but everything's a bit connected. That was the idea. I think I got there. I think that's what this looks like to me. Like each of the little dotted boxes looks like, oh, these are like places you can go inside of a sprawling world. And the red line shows you how you get across all the boxes. And it's not exactly how many levels there are or anything. It's more representative, but it gives the impression of, oh, okay, I have to cross these levels to get to there. Cool. Awesome. That's what I was hoping. You know, I was considering doing like colors for the different regions or something. It doesn't matter. It works this way. Yeah. And because the goal was lots of content. And before I was doing that with something like this, which you would think is like, I'm showing more, I'm doing more, but you don't, this doesn't give a concept of how much world there is. It just says, oh, there's these different things, just like lots of pixel art. And this doesn't do it either. And I don't think this would have either, like this thing we were doing. I think it has to be something that communicates levels, which it does now. When I say Metroidvania, I actually don't mean non-linear. What I really mean is this idea of it's the impression of a Euclidean overworld map that you traverse manually. You do backtracking, that kind of thing. So like this kind of situation where each zone represents space in the world, and you can traverse across and back through the world. That's a Metroidvania thing. Like Animal Well, you think about, it's not even like there are abilities and there are new paths that you unlock with the abilities. I'm not trying to make that distinction here. I'm really just trying to say, look at all the spaces you can go across. And those spaces you can imagine are represented by levels, but levels in a way that are non-linear. That's the key thing that this game needs to do. That, for example, John's game, Blood and Mead. His game is overworld map levels. It's like Super Mario Wonder. You know, you pick a place to go, you go to the place, and then you go left to right till you hit the exit. Insignia is not like that. So it's just that I needed to communicate that, and generally speaking, that there's a lot of gameplay, which I think this does a good job. Okay, so then it's in the deep. I think it does. I think it's okay. Stand and fight. I like this too. The boss fight location feels good. It's not perfect, but you know, nothing's going to be perfect. And then I thought I'd use this as like a breather slide of like, hey, like, this is where we are. This is what we've learned about so far. Because I want to go into the rest of the pitch, the business side of it. So I thought I'd just do a quick, like, what is Insignia? Action adventure, puzzle platforming, clever combat, 5 chapters of Vania style zones between towns and dungeons, following a classic adventure plot, estimated playtime, platforms that I'm looking to release on, where we are in the project pipeline. Next one will be, these next two are credibility. So it's, this probably won't be there. It's basically, we did PAX, we did Smash, we've got grant funding, we've got, you know, the content. In fact, I don't even know if we need to say that. I think the grant funding is actually a really big one. We need to say specifically like Screen New South Wales, Screen Australia. Like, I think these saying, hey, we've been awarded grants so far. We've expoed, we've been to expos with the game, we've got experience. I kind of want to say something like, we have, this game's been in the public. You know, people have seen it and played it in a promotional setting a little earlier on, and we're not afraid of going out and doing that. And then something about, and this is almost like a little timeline of like where, maybe, I don't know if I should say content creation or talk about that. This font, Montserrat, I think. Yeah, this one is Roboto, maybe. Rubik, Montserrat. Monsterrat. Yeah, I think that's good. I think also, we're also going to actually, we'll be at, I've just announced, we'll be at Alt Games. Yeah, Montserrat. And I mean, there's other things that we were involved in. We were at well, I won't necessarily talk about constellations, but did I apply for Bit Summit? Nope. I don't even know what that is. Kyoto. Oh, okay. That'd be fun if I can get over there. Well, I didn't apply, but maybe next time. Maybe we keep this pretty... I kind of want to say... It's pretty much there. You're kind of there. I almost wanted to do this as little badges, like little achievements that we've got. I feel like that'd be fun. I wonder if this works. Whoa. I wrote badge. Wow, that's like an actual image. See a fallen sky. It's crazy we live in a world where this is possible. You can just... Yeah, definitely not what I was looking for though. Anyway. All right, so heading away. Maybe like a big, like, doot, 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 arrow. That's obviously not right. I don't know how big to make that. I can try something else. Hang on. I take this and make it go boop, and then go down here. Boop. Then I can go boop. Well, okay, just delete everything. That's the hack. This looks like, yeah, pretty bad. I was trying to do something cool. I don't know if I got there. Shh, don't worry about it. Don't, just leave it. Just leave it. We could do like a nice one of these. That's not quite right, but I don't know what I need to say here. I don't want to say wins, but achievements. Maybe we just do that. We literally say achievements. Notches. That's a community joke. Notches. Notches. Oh, highlights. Well, if you're gonna do highlights, then you gotta do the content creation stuff. But that's coming up. Milestones? Oh. Will Steam page be live when you go? My little card that I'm gonna play is that when I go to GDC, that we will be pre-Steam page. I think that's what I'll have to play it as. I think that's gotta be the move. Oh, maybe I'll use this thing. Put that here. Because I think I actually think if I'm being super blunt, I think we'll have a great like Steam. I think when we go live on Steam, I think the wish lists are going to come through really quickly. And I think that getting in ahead of that is like the one chance a publisher has to like get any kind of leverage. Because the second we go live on it, if we get like 20, 30, 40K wish lists in the first like 6 months, at that point, I might just pull the trigger and crowdfund it and just let it, just don't even bother with the publisher at that point. Like at a certain point, it's like they might miss the boat. But if I go to a publisher now and say, we just launched the Steam page, we've got 5,000 because it was like last week that we launched the Steam page, I feel like it's not clear enough to say anything, to make a read on it. So it's almost like the fact that we haven't yet is significant. Once we have, and there's been an appreciable amount of time, that's significant. But if we just released it when we go, I don't think I don't know if we'll be able to say anything very significant that's going to mean much. Most anticipated. Yeah, I think this when this slide is right, I think this will say all it needs to say. I think this does the equivalent of saying we've got a lot of people on Steam. For whatever that's worth. Yeah. Yeah, I think we have to go with that. So is this what I want to say? Let me just read this properly. Someone said bullet points. Ahead on our way. You don't. It's a. See, this. I'm not dealing with real gamers here. It's a Final Fantasy VII reference, but it's okay. I will change it. If it sounds weird to people who don't get the reference, then it's not worth keeping it. I'm sorry for calling you not real gamers. If you don't listen to the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack every single day, what are you doing in my stream? If you don't see this, and instead of the words ahead on our way, if your ears don't go, if you don't do that, get out of my stream. Don't worry, you can stay. I'm just joking. Noam Chomsky's in the chat. Hey Chomsky. All right. So fart. Somebody said something like the journey so far. No, it's got to be. It's actually more like it's not the journey so far because it's not history. It's more like the position that we are in moving forward. It's like something like that, but that's too on the nose. I don't like how there's too much hubris in setup for success. But it's like full steam ahead. No, it's not that. It's like no, it's like picking up steam. No. It's like ahead on our way. Maybe just on our way. Forging ahead. Oh, that's very good. I might go with that. No, I think on our way is right. I think on our way is right. Forging ahead's fun, but it kind of sounds like we're being progressive as a company. So, oh yeah. Okay, and then I'm thinking maybe this should be maybe like subheader. No. It's not, the hierarchy's a little off. Maybe if I do this, take this away. Is it a bit unclear what this page is supposed to be at that point? Because now it looks like two equal slides. Hey, yo, Bob. All right. Enough with the smithing puns. What's the word? It's more like accountability is the right word. It's more like it's not that we're not lying, it's that our players make our development better. Yeah. Maybe these should be small. I think you're right. Like they should be capitalized. And smaller than the thing that they are up against, as should this. Let's try that. I don't know about, I think this is, maybe if I just de-emphasize the color. Not that color though. Do I have a, no. That's a shame. Maybe I can fake a color that's like, not fake, just use. All right. Make expo similar in length to grant funding. Exhibition. Grant awards? I like the word awarded. There's actually another one here I'd like to add. With a moustache. Oh, very good. What a distinguished gentleman. Strong foundation. Accountable. Workflow. Maybe we'd say foundations. Generous pre-production. Just everything. Very good. Yes, quite. Is that like a, is that an accent of transatlantic? Or is it very much more like, yes, the Queen's RP? Or just a 1920s general? Safari man with the mahogany boardroom. Ah, transatlantic, sure. So here we are, head on our way. Foundations, generous pre-production, period. Of course. It's an asset, not a liability. The vertical slice being complete. Now that's something to write home about. Remaining story and content scoped. Accountability, streaming all development. Regular vlog updates. Community playtesting. Very good, sir. Now perhaps we could make these a little bit more transparent. No, I think we need them white. White, well. No, that doesn't work either. Perhaps we go back over to the white and we make these another shade. Just offset them ever so slightly. No, that doesn't work at all. I think we'll leave it right there. Casablanca. All the gin joints in all the world. It's not quite transatlantic. She had to pick this one. All right. I feel we should just leave it right there. Why complicate it further? The hierarchy is not perfect. But for now, I believe we should get on with it. Crack on with it, even. So, on our way. That's pretty good. Maybe a graphic or two would be nice there, perhaps. Armin leaning over the partition with his thumb up. Yes. In fact, it would be great if grand even if we were to do that. That would be something special now, wouldn't it? But we've already used it. It would be something more akin to perhaps, if you like, now those are some muscles. Perfect. Actually, though, it's very Pip-Boy, isn't it? But perhaps it's also The transatlantic accents brought it out. Qualcam. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you kindly for 35 months. 35 months of subs should be enough to get a free copy of the game, right? I mean, if you reach out, yeah, we'll do it. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to say no if you ask me. Platinum edition. Maybe without the wink. Something. All right. So this is the last big slide I haven't even taken a crack at. Let's just take it back a little. Strip it back. These aren't the colors I would even use. It's not even the graphics that I would use. It's completely no thought has been put into this slide. So let's have a think. You do have to say no to free copies of the game. That's literally how you make money. Yeah, but like there's only what, 126 of you watching right now, plus those of you on YouTube. 63. So we got what? 190 people watching right now. If you all got free copies of the game, that's not missing out on that much. Hopefully that would be a drop in the bucket. All right, you want to see my crazy guides? Check it out. Wow. All right. Which means this should be like here. These should be there. I don't know how to use them properly in Figma, so they just look like that. And also, is that aligned with... Nope. Okay. Oh, but that's, I think, centered. Maybe it should be top left. It's so close to it. And then it's the difference between like the visual center versus like actual center. Like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. My eyes. Do you know, looking at that for like 10 minutes changes my perception of what red is and white? Okay, so this is too much text. Let's have a look at what I'm saying. Our audience supported the development. That's you. By watching our development. Supported us. Insignia. By watching development. Dev streams. Donating and subscribing. We're bringing them along for the ride. Not just as future players, but as a driving force through to release. Show support when we're ready. Take that away. Do Steam page. Yeah, I think that's still good. Yeah, let's say daily. But also, this is very streaming centric. And videos. Yeah, you support me, and in return, you get free copies. That's just commerce. Show your support by paying for a free copy. I mean, that's what Kickstarter is, actually, though. Oxford comma? Okay. Just for you. I think maybe we pop this center. I know that it makes it sound like that, but there's plausible deniability. Because if I just say videos, now it's daily dev streams. Are the videos also daily? Are they not daily? Are they watching the videos, or are the audience like watching daily dev streams? Do I have to say now watching videos? You know? We lose some semantic, there's some semantic bridge jumping either way, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let's pick the one that's a bit less cheesy. Well, not cheesy, slimy. I'd like to release on Switch, yeah, for sure. Maybe we just say content. Yeah. Okay. It's just like there are two lists now as one list. Because you don't watch donating and you don't watch subscribing. You could say by donating and subscribing. But I think it's two. I think we know what we mean at that point. We're fine. Actually, let me back up for a second. Why am I saying this? Insignia's development. How about this? After maybe with so much support. Maybe we do keep it left-sided, on the left side. Man, words are tricky, aren't they? You can say so many different things with such subtle differences in the words you choose. It's still a lot. Maybe we just drop it to that. One sec. All right. Yeah, I mean, this definitely should be a bit better. I like setting the stage. I think it's a good title. So now it's just what this looks like. I think it could be cool to do something insignia branded here, where we do like some of these little boys flying away. Something like it's not I didn't do a great job. No. Maybe that's enough. And then it would be like da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. Something like that. See you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, it would be like 260,000 on YouTube, and like, what are we at? 45,000 on 46,000 on Twitch. Something like that. What are we actually at? $262. Well, round it up to 263 if we want, but let's keep it at 260. If you round it up from 262.5, you could round it up to 265 if we're going in increments of 5. But I mean, by the time someone reads this, it might be 265. Let's keep it at this. In fact, I'll undershoot it just to keep it in increments of 5,000. Currently editing a novel, so this is my world right now. I edited a book last year. It was very painful to do. Since early development, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, Joel. Let's have a look. I'll quote you. I'll put you. From famous YouTubers. We should get testimonials from you. From you all. Testimonials from the chat. Round it up to $1 million. Why not? Since early development, Insignia's audience has been a driving force in its creation through multiple media platforms. I'm not into that. I like this part, but multiple always feels like you're intentionally hiding, especially such as. It's like you're saying numerous, but it's like you don't need to weasel word it, because we could just say how many there are. We could just literally say what they are. So it doesn't feel like we're being deceptive. And then I might. It's okay. Wow, it sure is a game. One of the games of all time. It's definitely going to be one of the games of all time. It already is one of the game development projects of all time. Hey, Blaze Bits, welcome. Yes, definitely your favorite Adam C. Eunice game that lasted longer than 1 year in development. A myriad of users. A whole bunch of players. Tons of people. The game is Insignia. Looks like this. Oh, that's not right. Wow, that's the first time that's ever happened. Oh, I think I moved it. Ah, yeah, that's why that happened. Thanks. That's my game. But I had the lighting system a little bit off color. That's the actual color scheme. Indie game dev does take a long time. 2017, that's correct. I've been working on this game since 2017. I haven't been full time on it since then, but the project existed in 2017. Yeah. I had jobs in the middle. There were things that I was doing. It's true. I am putting my heart and soul into it. It's my entire everything. It's the only thing. My career is kind of like built out of this game. But you know, it's oh, that was a bit of a neck crack. I'm happy about it. Oh, that's a good stat. Oh, this is almost better. I like this. 6. That's, you know, this is a good stat. And this should say daily. I need to make sure that it's like dev stream. But it's not concurrent. Dev VOD. It's hard to say it. Oh, bored boy. Yeah, good luck. Where do you think it's a good place to post your first games as a solo dev? First games, itch.io. After that, Steam. Maybe I'll just put it. I mean, we could do another one. It's like smaller. It's like... I just don't know how to say this word. I don't know how to say this word without it sounding like I'm lying about concurrent viewers. Because it's not, I'm not trying to claim that we have 6,000 concurrents, but they might think that. Bitru Puruho. I'm not familiar with them at all based on that name, but maybe under a different name. Daily Dev VOD viewers. Oh, my mum's calling me. One sec, pals. Lots of phone calls today. I promise that I'm not, there's nothing major happening in my life that's making me have so many phone calls today. It's just, I don't know. Maybe just that? Daily viewership? No. No, I mean, like, I'm going to GDC, but it's none of the calls have been about that. But then, like, dev stream viewers per day, but that kind of makes it sound like they're people cumulatively. I suppose that is what it is. Yeah, that's not bad. Dev stream. Is that different? Daily VOD watches. Ah. But is that right either? Daily stream watches? It's just, what I really mean to say is people watching the streaming content. Unique users who watch the stream content. That's, I don't know why not say viewers? But that's, what, oh man. It's like daily VOD audience. There you go. I think that's it. Daily dev stream audience. I don't think I have to specify whether it's a VOD or not, because actually it's additive. These people watch the daily dev streams, and there's 6,000 of them. Can you believe that? I find that crazy. Like it's silly of me because I see 140 viewers and I think to myself, that's how many people there are. Or I look at the, YouTube right now, it's 67 plus 140. Okay, so there's like 210 or whatever. Like, yeah. So, but that's at a time. Like some people pop in, they head out. And across 6 hours, 6,000 people. And then like overnight, the people who check in every day, there's like 6,000 of you. That's nuts. That's really cool. It's really, I really need to appreciate that value, that number. I should be really proud of that. And it's not something that I think about very often because it's just not something I've been aware of. I sort of just go, yeah, there's like 200 people who watch the stream, but it's not. It's like, hello. My wife's here. She looks really hot. She's really pretty. I think she likes me. That's how you get the girl. It's like she already married me. Okay. Yeah, do you want me to mute? All right, be right back. Sorry again. Alrighty. Sorry, what's happened is, I can tell you what's happened because it's not secret. My mum, she has like short-term memory loss from like a brain injury, and she invited us to dinner a couple nights ago, but obviously you can see how that can sometimes go awry. So I checked in with her earlier to see if we were still doing that, and she had forgotten. So we just got to organize dinner a different way, and she just called me then being like, oh, did you want to come over? And it's like, no, it's okay. Yeah, so it's not like a big deal. Let's make these big. Why make them small? Why don't we just... There you go. I mean, actually though, why not? Big numbers is big numbers. That's what we're here for. We can flex on the publishers a little. We don't need them to like us. That's what I mean by that. I mean, like, we don't need to suck up to them. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. Remember how I'm your favorite son? Who are you? No, she's not that bad. She knows who I am. There was a time when it was a bit, when it happened, it was a little bit like, oh, remember me? But it's not like that. It's more like, no, she's kind of like stable, but not on the mend. It's kind of like, probably, I mean, like minor improvements, but it's like exponential decay. It's like she's sort of in the first like 10 years since it happened, it's been like 12 now. Like the first 2, 3, 4, even 5 years, it's like we would see big improvement, but she was very impaired. And then the 5 after that, it's like not noticeable week to week, not even noticeable month to month, but like every 6 months you would notice like, oh, I didn't think she would remember that kind of thing. And then the last like 2 years has been like pretty much the same. Like certain parts of her brain are like permanently scarred that she will not get used back of ever. So like the shopping center where we buy like our groceries and stuff, we've been going to that same shopping center since we lived in the area, which is since I was born. That's like 33 years ago. For 33 years, imagine going to the same place. I know the layout of the place. She knew the layout of the place. To this day, even 10, 15 years after this her incident, it's like you could say if you put her anywhere in the shopping center, she doesn't know where anything else is. She knows that there are she knows, like, for example, that in Australia it's like Coles and Woolworths, 2 major grocers. If you stand her outside of Coles and say, where is Woolworths from here? She doesn't know. But like the shopping center is like linear. It's not like complicated layout. It's like it's over there. Like you can't see it from here, but if you went once, you would know. But she just can't recognize places at all. Just completely no hope. It's like places with capital letters in their names. You know what I mean? It's like specific, like locations, she can't remember. She can remember, her body knows how to walk around the house, and absent-mindedly, she knows how to get to the kitchen from the bedroom, or how to get from, you know, the garage to work. She knows how to like navigate around her space where she lives, but like anywhere outside of that, it's like you could walk her outside the house, spin her around, and be like, which house is yours? And she's like, actually, worse than that, she'll confidently say the wrong answer. Like, she feels like she knows, but she actually doesn't. That's actually one of the bigger issues with her, is that like she actually hallucinates the answers, like GPT, very similar. She'll confidently tell you the wrong answer to a lot of questions, and she'll fight you on it. She'll argue with you about it. Not dementia, no. My mum suffered a case of viral encephalitis in 2013, and it was pretty serious. Like, they had to put her in a coma for a couple of weeks, and then like she was basically in like rehab for like 6 months after that. And it's brain damage. It's not a degenerative condition. It's like scarring on the brain that she's slowly been, well, it just permanently affected her life. Some things have gotten better over the years, but I'm just explaining like where she's at now. Oh, at the start, it's been like dementia in reverse. Like, at the start, it was, oh no, like, we've lost mum, pretty much. Like, it was like, this is, I mean, she was in like a vegetative state at the start. And then it was like, she has no idea who I am, but she knows that she has a son named Adam. And then like, then it was like, she'd get confused about where she was. We'd be home and she'd be like, let's go home. Come on, we're done. I'm tired. Let's go home. And we're like, Mum, we are home. She'd get really upset. And then like over time, like she had like an agnosia for faces for a long time. She couldn't recognize people's faces. Yeah. Look, the idea of like having like a family member go through dementia is like horrifying to me. This was probably equally bad for the first couple of years. The strain that it part of the reason why I quit my job was like to help be around for her more. When I started Insignia, it was like, I'm not present enough to help Mum, and this would help me work on something while I could be at home. That was like a big part of this at the start. So yeah, like because we never knew where she'd end up, there are times when like the part that is really heartbreaking around this kind of thing is when someone that you love can't be themselves, and you have to like fight them basically for their own good, because you know they would have wanted one thing or another. Like, that's really hard, because you have to like treat someone with a kind of hostility that you love for their sake. Like, I used to have to like trick her into getting into the car to go to rehab because she didn't want to go, but like she needed to go. And she would like get, you know, the way like a child would, she would like throw tantrums and stuff. And I'm like, you know, it's like the Harry Potter and Dumbledore in the cave kind of thing, you know. It's a little bit tough. That stuff is traumatic. And you don't know how long that part of it's gonna, like, that could have been indefinitely. And like the thought of like, you know, in the worst case, like resenting, you know, not them, but like what's happened, and the strain that it puts on the family and blah, blah, blah. Like that stuff sucks. That is like absolutely. And on all of that, on top of all of that, it's like, and you don't have your mum like to help you through it, you know? Like the person, it's one thing to like have something that's difficult in your life. It's another person for the thing to be what used to be the person that you needed, that you looked to for support with that kind of stuff, you know? It got hard for two reasons. Yeah. 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 And, you know, in other ways, like in other sort of areas, there's this kind of like sense of like, that she no longer is a good representative of, it's almost like severance, you know? It's like she's no longer a good representative of the wishes that she would have had before she was sick. So to the extent that I want to be a good son for her, which her do I be a good son to? Do I be the son that pushes for her quality of life because that's what she would have wanted? Or do I be the son who listens to her now because that's what she wants now? You know, like for example, she's become quite introverted. She doesn't reach out to a lot of her friends. And she'll say, no, like I'm happy. This is what I want. And it's like, yeah, but like I know you and I know the kind of person that you were. I know how much you value these friends. So if I listen to you now, then, you know, I'm not respecting the person who made all those friends and who's the person who those friends are a friend to. You know, that stuff's like, that's a mental challenge. Yeah. Yeah, it is tough. What I'm really grateful for, if I had to express gratitude for something, it's that she's actually still very much the same person in her nature is the same. My mum's so sweet. She's a really nice person. She is so, I don't know what the word is. She's she's just a good person. Like in her personality, she doesn't always get to be that good person, but the person that she is a good one, if that makes any sense. She's the like her nature is someone that like basically shaped me. Like I wouldn't be who I was if and the things that I value, I wouldn't value them if I didn't have her as my mum. You know, her sense of like justice or her generosity, the things that she would give her time, the ways she would give her time freely to other people, and the complete and utter commitment to her family and her duties and discipline as a person towards the things that she cared about, unshakable. Like you literally couldn't, like, she was like, what's the word? You know, like when like corruption, the thing that corruption is, whatever the opposite of that is, honor. Like, you could never make my mum do something that wasn't the right thing to do. I've never seen her like lie, for example. Yeah, like fully, like maximum integrity as a person. She just wouldn't. She's just very principled. That's kind of just how she lived. And I like that. I like that. It's kind of, in a way, unfortunately, like, you know, there are things that I've learned in my life that are like, I've suffered a bit in life with those principles, because I think the world is crueler than that. You don't always get to be. It's a real privilege to be honorable, to get through life abiding by your principles. If you get to keep those, it's like, wow, like, how did you do that? Because so many things in life reward you for just giving in a little bit. It's like, just like, you know, you can't do this, you know, you can't live like that. Like, otherwise you'll be missing out. You'll be a sucker if you play it that straight. People take advantage of you if you're too honest. But she's too honest, in a good way, in a way that I like. You know, there's like rules, like social rules about like how people are. And the social rules really like only last as long as people are willing to abide by them. So like the way, like honesty is one that usually goes first. It's like if you can trust everybody around you to be honest, then you can be honest. And it feels very good to be in that kind of scenario. But the second that somebody is dishonest, it's like, oh, well, now you can't really trust them. You can't really trust anybody because you don't know who's going to take advantage of the dishonesty. Because as soon as someone's dishonest, they start getting ahead. And it's like, well, you know, we don't want to be suckers. Again. So. Like I learned, especially going to like an all boys school, that was really tough. I know we're sort of drifting from my mum now onto just like childhood trauma, but like, you know, I have been recently actually struggling with this. Like when I go see my psych, I talk about it with him, like just how much my self-confidence was shaped in those years as like a 14, 15, 16-year-old at an all-boys school. How much confidence I lost because of how much trust I lost in other boys. Like, and I still am probably a bit naive in terms of like what I think, how much I trust people, I think. Like I don't really like I still am quite emotionally committed to the idea of fairness in a way that, like, if you work in like advertising or sales or like, you know, most like marketing or any kind of area where like there's a zero sum kind of situation where it's like, if I can get you to agree to this, then I win. That kind of scenario, negotiating, for example, even like the stuff that I'm heading towards now with like grants and not grants, contracts for funding. You know, that stuff, if you're too naive, you just get taken advantage of, because it's not in your interest to think about what's fair for the other person, because you have to look out for what's fair for you. That is really hard for me. Like I was never taught, or at least like my dad knows how to do it. He's, you know, he likes to haggle and whatever. But like as a kid, like I think the way that my mum taught me was like extremely honest, like to a fault probably. Or it's like if that's the price tag, that's what you pay kind of thing, you know? I don't even know if she explicitly taught me that, but I feel like that's just kind of like what came through, you know? Just like certain attitudes. Like, cause I'm one of like a lot of kids, like I'm one of 5. So like sharing and like being fair was like there's a lot of energy put into that, I guess, in like discipline and just how we were treated. You know, the idea of like, yeah, I think as a kid, I understood that really well. And then like the idea of like bartering with someone and like making it hard for them to like do their job because you want a cheaper price and stuff. Like I was like, as a kid, I was like, whoa, no, Dad, that's the price. You can't do that. Again, that's like just being a kid. You don't know better, but like, it's still something. I don't know. There's still something there that's a bit like, wouldn't it be nice if the prices were all fair and we could just pay them? Wouldn't that take a lot of mental stress away from everybody if like everything was reasonable and affordable for the price, you know, was designed to be affordable, and you didn't have to go out of your way to get ahead of other people, you know, to advocate for yourself. Oh yeah, like tipping culture is absolutely that. As somebody who's, I don't know, the idea of adding tipping as a thing to my mental strain when I'm engaging with any kind of customer service in America, if I lived in America, I would be so much more stressed out, because there's no rules. It's just a guilt fest. Why would I do that? It's really nice as an Australian to like see, because our culture is very different, when someone slides over an FPOS machine to you and they're like, tip, and you just press the red button, no, and you just pay the bill. That's normal here and that's expected. It feels really good to not feel bad about that. Like, sure, if like someone goes above and beyond and you really want to thank them, you can do that. But like in America, like you guys don't get paid actual wages. So like not paying the tip is like denying someone their actual pay. That's like, what? Well, now I feel really guilty, you know? Just add 20%. Yeah, but like it's not like that's not even, it was 15, 10 years ago, you know, in America. Also, like, why can't you make it even easier and just pay the people a living wage? Just pay the people who work for you the amount of money that they need to like live. You know, that's how we do it in this part of the world. So the tip is really just actually a tip. It's like, oh, like here, keep the change kind of thing. Like that's what a tip is here. Which is, I think, how it started in the US, but not how it is. Now it's like, these are your wages. Tax is the same. Man, I feel sorry for you all. You have to do the tax dance. Like, how much is this thing? It says $5. Walk up to the cash register. $7.50 plus tip. What? It said $5. That would, again, stress me out. You must be great at maths over there. I live in a state that guarantees minimum wage when tips are on top, but multiple of my coworkers have moved from states where the only guarantee was that your employees pay plus tips had to meet minimum wage, which is insane. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, literally in Australia, it's like the actual literal price on any product in any shop is what you pay. Like if it says $5.50, you put your thing. The only thing is the card fees. If you pay in with a card, you might get an extra, I don't know, 0.5% or something like that on top. Like, but if you have cash, like that's what you pay, and then you walk away. That would be crazy, Ahmed. Do you go by Ahmed or like Ahmed? Okay, so now what's cool is I should be able to take this. Yeah. Hey, I'll be in America in like a week, so I'll be experiencing this firsthand. This will be my reality for a little while. Do we go for the green? Nah. But maybe we need white. Could make this color the white. Nah. Do you know what else? If I might just say so. You guys in America are stressing me out. Can I just say, the media that gets like, that makes its way over here. Like I watch a lot of like The Daily Show. I think it's The Daily Show. Is that the Jon Stewart one? I watch that and like just whatever Comedy Central stuff that makes its way down the pipeline, like SNL, that kind of stuff. And And obviously I see a lot of like American like, what's the word, like senators talking in stands and stuff like that, and like, man, it is exhausting. It's so draining to be finding out every day what new thing is happening. And it's not even, it shouldn't even affect me. It should have nothing to do with me, but it does. It actually totally does affect me. I wish that wasn't the case, but it really, really, really does. I don't know why either. Like, it's like, this has, like, it just feels like, you know, the world is not at stake, but like, you know, American politics is global politics in a way, just because things are dependent, you know, national security stuff, not national security, international security is dependent on like whatever America is doing. So like, you know, like I care about what's happening in the Ukraine, and I care about what's happening in Palestine, and I care about what's happening in all these places around the world. And it's like, man, this is terrible. These people, so many people are suffering right now. Someone's at my back door. I'll be right back. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just it's a crazy world we're living in right now, and it's not, you know, like, I want to be careful about what I say, because I don't want to like make anybody who is a supporter of, you know, one person or another feel like they're not included in the stream. Of course, you are entitled to whatever beliefs you have, and I would never try to take that away from you. But at the same time, man, it's really hard to see how difficult it is, to watch how difficult it is for us to know what's real and to know what to believe. That is kind of, to me, like heartbreaking that we can't feel, we can't trust anymore that like the media or whatever is like giving us anything accurate. And I think for a long time, I'll put it this way, I'll try to be very careful about this. I think there's like kind of two kinds of people. There's like the kind of people who have the luxury of being able to be really critical and chase knowledge in a way where they're able to let go of their connections to things around them in order to find what's real, to be humble and to, you know, whatever. That's not the way, that's not a way that everybody can afford to be. And everybody, to some extent, even those people, is dependent on the wisdom of others. I feel like, in general, society exists and works because we can defer some of our critical thinking skills to the people who are wiser than us, who have put more time into it. Like, I trust a lot of science or whatever to be true because I'm able to at least validate the process by which it came about and can think critically about it or whatever. But there are some things that are over my head that I still have to trust. And particularly for the people, I think, who are just naturally more inclined to defer more of that trust to elders or politicians or the news or whatever, those people are harder to reach now than ever because it's easier to, I feel like there's a cynicism that has come over people, in my life at least, that are more that way inclined. Like my sister, my eldest sister, she's very religious. I can't talk to her about a lot of topics to do with any of this stuff because it's just not like, she's not reachable. We have completely different perspectives and we're not even talking the same like language on some of this stuff. You know, her reality, the way she understands facts and truth is like just different to mine at this point. And it's like, what do you do about that? Like, not much you can do. You sort of go, well, I'm sorry that that's happening. Because there's just an alternate set of ways of reasoning, I guess, about the world that... And it's not even, like, I understand her priorities as a person, and I understand how she arrives at a lot of the ideas that she has or whatever. I don't blame her for it, but it's really difficult to like get through on some of that stuff because it's just a different, just like there's a different game being played. Like the way that she determines what she likes, what she believes is different to me. So I can't, like, it's just pointless arguing. And again, like I'm not trying to hold that against her. I don't think, because I don't think it's about, you know, like it's tempting to be like, oh, you're dumb, or I don't, you know, how could you? But like everyone thinks that about everybody else. Like I'm sure she thinks that about me. So like it's not even a question of who's right. It's just like really, really sad that as a society internationally, or at least in the West, like we can't, we're not on the same plane. It's not, we can't like all agree with each other on what things mean and what happens in history. We don't know what's right and what's wrong. We don't know, we can't tell reality from fiction or unreality. And that's just the way it is right now. Crazy. It makes me really upset. Like I'm sort of like, I don't know, like almost like mourning it a little bit, like the way that the world used to be, you know, like even it wasn't perfect. It was never perfect. But like, I feel like, you know, 20, 30 years ago, like it seemed to make more sense than it does now. Things just were simpler. I mean, like, look, the whole like post 9/11 WMD thing, I mean, that happened, and that's probably, you know, enough craziness. The fact that that even happened, I guess shows that this stuff isn't that new, but it's still hard to see it happening at the rate that it's happening at the moment. Like the amount of disinformation and disunity in the world, it's super scary, man. I don't know how anybody... you know what I wish I had? I wish I had the money to not have to care about any of this stuff. I wish I was secure enough that like none of this mattered for me. I think that's, to me, the biggest thing. Like if I wish I could just turn off and be like, I'm gonna be fine. It doesn't really matter what's happening in the world because I'll be fine. Because like, no, like, you know, interest rates, the cost of affordable housing, like all of these things really affect me and my prospects and my future. Like political outcomes in Australia are affected by those in the US. And if the things that I value in my life aren't being valued by the current government or whatever, like the cost of that is very high. On people in my generation, we stand to like really suffer if we're not careful. That's, I think, the biggest thing. I think that's it. I think I just hit it. It's the death of like compassion. I feel like the world just might have been or maybe we didn't need to have so much compassion. Like maybe everyone was okay all the time back then. So like it just wasn't necessary for like to care that much about how everyone else was doing. Or maybe the world was just less globalized, so it wasn't something that we were so close to. Maybe that's it. It's like, because the world was a much bigger place, the problems of people in other countries just weren't as big of a deal because you were sort of shielded from it. Whereas like now it's like, I am intimately aware of like the tariff status of the Canadian imports on the US. Why do I need to know that as an Australian? Yeah, and that's actually, I mean, even almost sadder is the knowledge that the things that we hear about are only a subset. There's still other atrocities happening everywhere else in the world. And the apathy that we feel over these atrocities because of just how much volume there is. Like, I don't want to be, this is coming back to the thing I was talking about with like boys not being trustworthy. Like and like my mum, you know, my mum being an honest person. I don't want to live in a world where having compassion is something you get punished for. I don't want to live in that world. I want to live in the world where if you have compassion, you get rewarded for it because you help other people. So you make the world a more stable place, and people in general are just happier because they feel safer. Like, why can't we have that? What do we have to do to get to a point where everyone feels a bit safer and not so much like anything that someone else does is taking away from their security? Because that's what it is. That's what this all comes down to. So we all feel really unsafe right now, and we all feel like if someone's getting something, it's they're taking it from us because we're already not safe. So that mindset of like, oh God, all of the things that I hold dear, they're going to get destroyed if this person gets what they want. And the idea that it's like someone's fault, even that is like, come on, you know? The idea that it's like, it's this identity group. They're the ones who are making everything bad. Even that is like a huge, man, I'm getting really political here. Probably shouldn't have gone this far, but we're here now. You know, the idea that like it's someone's fault and we should be mad at them, and that somebody is a group of people who actually have like no power. Like, you know, I can't be mad at my sister for being like, I'm more progressive, she's more conservative. I can't be mad at a conservative for being for things that are happening to me. That's not her fault. I can't be mad at her for it. Even if it feels like it is a team sport and, you know, the bad team's winning or whatever, no matter on which side you're on, you know, that's just not what reality is. Like, the reality is like, you know, the system, I hate saying that sounds really cheesy, but like it's systemic. Like, all of these problems are like problems that happen because of the rules of the game that we agree to economically and democratically, whatever. The things that make up the rules of our little societies. The rules aren't great. And when there's a lot of automation and technology, the game is played faster, and the people who have a lot or more control of the board get to play the game in a way that hurts other players more quickly. That's the problem. And because as a society we aren't as literate anymore, we're not able to have the conversations at the rate where we would need to in order to stop the game being abused. So we just have to like suffer inside of a game that's not really working very well. There are bugs in the code, you know, of the game that we're playing because we're playing it live. This MMO that we play. This MMO of Western society. There's bugs in it. And like, it's unfortunate. But it's none of the players' fault. Well, at least it's not the players who are just in the middle of the game. It's more like, yeah, the rules. But when the players jump off the game board and into the rules book, then you've got problems. So, like, we should all be agreeing that, like, for example, a president should divest themselves of financial interest before taking their office. That is the case in the US, but it's not the case currently. Stuff like that is like, those rules make the game fair. And if you don't have access to, if those rules can't be enforced because we don't value them, then a lot of bad things are going to happen. And it's going to take a long time to fix the bad things that happened. Yeah, and it's actually like the fact, I guess there was a time when we didn't need to know the rules because the game was being played slower. I think that's what I was trying to say. Whereas like now it's like, oh no, it's really important that we all know the rules, as in the law, and that we understand why they're so important and that we can defend them efficiently. That's hard to ask the average person to do because, as I said when we started, we didn't. It's not practical for everybody to know all the rules all the time. We rely on people who know better than us. That's nobody's fault. No individual's fault, as in your family, the people you argue with, over Christmas dinner or whatever. None of them are really at fault unless you're like, unless your name is like Ivanka Trump. It's like everyday people aren't the kinds of people who are to blame for this kind of what makes life difficult in the world right now. And in Australia, we have our own, issues with this kind of stuff. It's not just American politics. Like, we have an insane housing crisis happening right now in Australia, in Sydney, well, New South Wales, I should say. Like, it is getting really, really bad. And things that are really, really bad are going to continue happening. Even if things get like put in the right trajectory, the cost, the stuff that's bad is gonna keep getting bad. For example, like in Sydney, housing prices in some areas have like tripled in like 8 years. And even like in the normal case, in the average case, like my family home that my father sold, my dad sold, like before we all got older and moved out, that home, its value went from being worth, one figure to like, I guess it gained like 50, 60% of its value on top in like 5-6 years. Like nobody's earning that much money that quickly. So like, why is it appreciating that fast? Like it's not like wages went up 50, 60%. And the answer to all of this, in like the best answer anybody in like parliament or whatever has, is like, oh, we just need to like build. But it's like, yeah, but we don't have great our regulations aren't good enough to make sure that what we're building is good. So like when we panic build all of these like high density housing units and whatever, those places are not going to be, the standard of those places is not really very high. And the people who, where the highest volume housing is being built, you know, along train lines and, you know, closer to major shopping centers and hospitals and stuff, it's like, it's really not good. Like, and the people that are living in those areas are like, the divide, the socioeconomic divide of the people living in these places, it goes up because they build them cheaper in those areas. So the overall standard becomes stratified based on what people can afford in the area. They're not places built to last as dwellings. They're places built to be affordable right now for people who need to buy them right now. And it doesn't matter how big they are. They could be tiny homes. They could be like little apartments with like, you know, the building materials don't have to be. And I'm not saying like, I see it. Like I see on, like there's a guy on TikTok who's like a housing inspector and he makes content just looking at bad, like really, really crappy botch jobs. That's his whole content. Is like this doesn't pass, this doesn't pass, none of this passes certification. And it's like, these are houses, like what should be like, you know, middle, what's the word? Middle class kind of like 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom houses. But like the backyards are getting smaller. The building quality is getting worse because they're rushing them to build them faster. All these defects before anyone's even moved in, like just at the start of the life cycle of these houses. Because it's like, well, there's money to be made in doing it quickly. And we need them now. Because it's unaffordable. But it's unaffordable and we need them now because we have a really terrible housing market that incentivizes people making investments in properties they have no interest in, or like actually living in or anything like that, but just purely as a way of mitigating tax. You know, an uncle of mine, I was talking to him about this. I was like, you know, what business does anyone have owning like 30 homes to try to capitalize off it as a landlord? Like they're not even going to be a landlord in the true sense for the people that live there. Like this is terrible. And he's like, he said to me, well, what else are people supposed to do when they earn money? Like if you have a lot of money, where else are you supposed to put it? Is what he said, which is an interesting thought. Like if you are wealthy, the thing that you do with the money is make more of it. So you should just put the money in the thing that will make you more money. And if that's housing, then you should buy lots of houses. Again, I don't blame anyone for doing that. That's their life. Like that's what, of course you would do that. But I blame the system for incentivizing people to do that. It's a bad rule. In like game design, you look at that and you go, oh, that's a cheesable strat. That's no good. We gotta work that out. We gotta patch that. Like the meta sucks. We should fix this meta before it gets broken and people get people break the game's economy. But it's not the game's economy, it's the country's economy. And it's happening. And it's been happening for ages. And it's just like no one, the people who want it to be changed aren't the people who are in the power to change it. So can't blame my uncle, can't blame anyone who owns a lot of property, because like they're just playing the game, you know, can't hate them. But like, it's weird when people seem to, they want to pretend it's fair. Like that I don't like, that I don't get. I mean, I get it, but like, you know. Man, this does not look good. Maybe I should just point this out and make it go off this way. That's better. Yeah. And it's hard because like, yeah, when the rules that are there benefit some people, this is where the compassion thing comes from, right? It's like, if you're doing great, what do you care that other people aren't? And in the past, this is the really big one. I was every baby boomer I talked to, and I'm sorry for those of you who are older in the chat, every baby boomer I talk to doesn't get this one thing. It's really simple. It's a really simple thing. And it's true for them. It's they resonate with the first part of this. And it's hard for them to believe the second part. The first part is, you grew up, baby boomer, you grew up in a time when everything you did created wealth. The world felt like a place where when you made money, you made money. There's enough space for everyone to create profit. So when you make money and you earn it, that's yours now, and you deserve to keep it and feel and hold on to it because you worked hard to create it. And so your wealth is like self-made and owed to you, because there's so much that you're not taking from anyone. You know, like in Sydney, where I live, 60, 70 years ago, there's new developments being made, new property being created near the city because the city's not very developed. So we are creating wealth. So you don't have to be compassionate about other people who aren't making money, because they could make money if they just wanted to. If they just got off their lazy butt and did some work, they could make money too, and it wouldn't be taking any money from you to do it. But it's flipped now, where like all of the good real estate's gone. All of the bad real estate's gone too. All of the real estate's gone. So if you make money on real estate, you literally are taking money and profit and value from someone else who could be living in that place for less, for an affordable rate. And they're not trying to profit, they just want to live somewhere, you know? So like, there isn't enough to go around. And that's real. Like, there really, really isn't. And that has changed in the lifetime of a baby boomer. That's literally different than it was. And it's weird because it's happened so quickly and no one really could have seen it. Like, how does it feel different? Like, it was just, you know, I was 30 like a couple of years ago and now I'm 60, 80, whatever. It's like, yeah, but also like, it's really hard for everybody else who's trying to deal with this right now because you own too many houses. Things just like mattered a lot less back then, in a way that, again, can't blame anybody. You can't blame them for living that way, because there really wasn't any need to think about things in different terms, at least in Australia. Like in a boom setting, it's like, man, there's enough for everyone. Just show up. Like, just rock up and do something and you'll be fine. Single income, 5 kids, no problem. Yeah. And I don't even like the thing that's really hard is feeling myself. And I was saying, this is what I was saying before, feeling myself become more selfish as I get older. Like as a teenager, I was very compassionate because that's how my mum raised me. As a university student, very compassionate because you're at university. You know, I was pretty conservative then, but like, you know, you're seeing the Marxism stuff everywhere and you got the bright future ahead of you and you want, you know, life to be good for everybody. So very optimistic in university. Now that I live in like the real world, it's like, man, I can't afford to have my life disappear in front of me by being nice. I can't afford to just let people walk all over me because I got a life to live and I want to have kids one day and I want them to be comfortable and I can't afford to be like to play a game, e.g. the economy, the housing market. If I was in a position to be a landlord right now and own 50 properties, the idea of not doing that is like, I literally don't blame anybody who's doing it. I don't blame you because like, of course you should do that for you. Like in your scenario, yeah, you should do that. I don't like that you should. I will do everything in my power to change the rules if I ever was somebody if I was ever a legislator in politics or whatever, that's the first thing I would change. But like, since you're in it and I'm in it and you can do it, like, I don't blame you because like you've got to, put food on the table too. And it sucks and we should change it and I hope we do. But like, I can't get mad at you for playing it that way. Because the world's too cruel. It's too difficult. That's what I get upset about. That stresses me out. Yeah, faceless name. It's like that, isn't it? Yeah. Don't know what to do. I really want, oh God, my kids, whenever that happens, do they have to go through this? Well, I suppose they will. I can't imagine it being easier for them than it is for me. I sure hope it is. I don't want to have to raise cynical kids. I don't want to have to teach my kids cynicism. To be intellectually and emotionally defensive of around other people. Gosh. I don't know if like you guys feel this way, but like I really struggle with this stuff. Like genuinely actually hurts me in the middle of my day thinking about this stuff. Is the main character inspired by anyone? Inspired is, yeah, actually, yes. Yeah, I'll give you a couple of inspirations. One, Guybrush Threepwood from Monkey Island. Two, from Treasure Planet, Jim Hawkins. Those are the two. And then the name is a little bit from Attack on Titan. Also, Marsh and Luso from the Tactics Advanced series. You take those 4 references and like smush them together, 5 references. That's what this character is. Yeah, it's the colonial jacket. I really love that pirate jacket. Oh, and a bit Cloud Strife from FF7. It's like if Cloud Strife's hair and Jim Hawkins' hair was like mushed together. Even like Chrono from Chrono Trigger, or the character from Secret of Mana. Like that's the red hair and the under, you know, the red spiky hair. It's a very, it's a super, you know, late 90s kind of thing. Maybe early 90s, you know? Not the headband. I didn't want to do that, but like, you know, it's this, but you shave one side. But also like portrait. This portrait, similar kind of like thing going on, but simpler. I really like Tetsuya Nomura's art style after 2000. This thing that he was doing around the Final Fantasy X era, I really, really like it. The Kingdom Hearts portrait style, and not the style itself, but the shapes that he made. I love how geometric these shapes are and how specific. And I feel like in the time since they've lost it. Square Enix don't care about the characters as brands the same way. All right, I like this. I'm leaving it. Maybe we put it down. Like, no, it's a big empty space up here. It just feels a bit wrong. Why? Everything else is top left. I gotta just deal with it. Yo, whoever made that question about the character design, thanks for pulling me out of the crash out, political crash out I was just in. Appreciate you. It happens. How's the demo going? It's going. Yeah, FF10, 7 to 10, but ignore 8. The character designs there are amazing. Particularly Nomura. Yeah, circa 1997 to 2002. That's peak. I don't understand how that happens. How like somebody who had it, they really had it, can lose it. Like, have you heard Nobuo Uematsu's music recently? Like anything he's written in the last 10 years, it's like, it's all right. But like, that guy wrote all of the biggest bangers in all of video game music. You know, like, he was the guy. It's like, it's just okay now. I don't know what happened. Like, how do you lose that? Oh, Yoko Shimomura is still good. Do you play many point-and-click adventure games? I used to play a little more than I do now. As a kid, yeah, much more. I feel like the genre it's just not in the forefront of my mind right now. I haven't played that many good ones. Yeah, you don't want to think it's a fluke, right? It's surely not a fluke. But he does have like not a huge like, he doesn't have like a great theoretical background as a composer, so I've learned. And he was kind of like inspired, I think, at the time by like very specifically like pop and alternative rock and a little bit of metal. Like, I think it was like Uematsu's like early work was inspired by like Elton John. Which, yeah, prog rock, exactly. I think I said alternative. Prog rock, yeah. But you can hear the melodic focus in that early work is really strong. And that's probably, well, partly it is because of the limitations of the hardware that the games were written for. But to me, what I don't understand... Actually, no, I can explain this. You want to hear it? You want to hear the take? Here's my take. 3, 2, 1, go. As a creative industry, not just video games, but film as well, as the technology to make things became so much more powerful, our grasp of stylistic fundamentals has slipped across all culture. Maybe music is an exception to some extent. But the chase to make things that are more technically impressive has made us worse at making things that are more memorable and intentional. I think that's true of movies. I think it's true of TV. I think it's true of games. Like, chasing realism, basically. Or just scale. Jonathan Blow. Is that what he says? I don't actually know. Yeah. Oh yeah, Corridor Digital. Yeah. You see it. You see it. All the creative practical effects in films. You see it. You see it. Reality hunger. Yeah. I think you see it. And it's one of those things. I mean, we were looking at, what's that name of that game that's coming out, the one that looks crazy. It wasn't not Stellar Blade. What's the name of that thing? What's it called? The action game with the swords. It's the Knights one. Tides of Annihilation. Like, why does Tides of Annihilation... Why doesn't it look like it's gonna be that thing, that game? Why is it not going to be a Final Fantasy VII? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be, and you can see that. And there's something about it that you could just know. You just know that it's not going to be a classic in that same way. We'll play it, and then we'll not play it after that, and then we won't think about it. I'm saying that, I'm calling it, but I might be wrong. I think wrong about Lies of P. I think Lies of P apparently is good, and I might play that. I'm still looking to go back and play it one day. But like, looking at this, it's like, is it Quixel Megascans? Is it that everything looks like The Last of Us? Like, what is it that makes this just feel like we took a 3D environment, and then we copy pasted like some Stellar Blade character controller. It's not, and it's not, I'm sure like there's a decent game here. It's like a cool action game, really great VFX, insane VFX. But like, I just don't see the gameplay dynamics that make it feel like there's something interesting going on. Like, it's visually, there's a lot happening, but I'm not seeing the play. What are the things you have to look out for? What are the rules of the combat system that make it interesting to do, to engage with? The dodge is so expressive. It's a huge dodge. So like, is it just don't get hit when the hitboxes appear? Like, what's the, like, it's one of those things. I'm personally, obviously we've talked about it before, I'm fixated on the role of positioning in these kinds of action games. I feel like if a game is slower and positioning matters, then it means the game has to be way more tightly designed, because standing in the wrong spot at the wrong time means dying. In this kind of game, that's not really a thing. This is the Kingdom Hearts Devil May Cry kind of school of gameplay, where it's really just, you know, press the dodge button when, like, you know, press the dodge button when the hitboxes, when the enemy animation is in the attack frame. Like, but this enemy hasn't done much. And it's cool. I mean, that's really cool to look at. But like, and again, start of the game, I know it's different. But there's a lot of, you ever think about this? How like empty this gameplay space is? Probably tutorial, I'm probably reaching, you know, but like, how much level is there here? Not just the physical space, step away from the physical space. Of course, there's a lot of space, but like, how many decisions are you making as a player in the space? Like, is there going to be a cool item around this corner, or like in the, like, is there a reason to try to get over there? Is there maybe a chest or like an NPC? Like, will there, how much of the geometry matters when you're interacting with it? Like, what does it matter? Where's the content? You know? That's the thing that I'm thinking about now, like doing level design in my game. It's like, the content in this space was like, okay, you've activated the fog crystal. It's like 1, 2, 3. Everything else is just gray colliders. What's the mechanic? The mechanic is hit the red thing, make a platform appear.
Let's find more. Don't forget, knights don't fear the scarlet waters. Nice. Now we can get across.
Like, I'm sure there's something here. It's a bit of a puzzle. But like, it's, even though it's so technically impressive, that's not that different from what you could have, like, gameplay wise, it's not very innovative. It's like, it's okay.
Where we're headed.
Like, it's cool. It's fine. But like, an indie game could cover this kind of like gameplay depth. Sure, without the graphics, without all the character controllers. But it's, you know, you could come up with that mechanic and execute it in a more interesting way in a 2D pixel art game. Now, of course, you could say, well, it's about the theater of it. Like, it's we're watching a movie here, right? Like, that's way better than a pixel art game. Yeah, but is it a good movie? Like, is the voice acting good? Do we like the dialogue? Do we care about these characters? It looks pretty, but is it good? I don't know yet.
You mind your business and I'll mind mine. Trust her. Silence.
Yeah, I'm focusing. I actually have to go in like 5 minutes. I'll finish this tonight. Sorry. It happens. I didn't sleep very well last night. I had to get up really early this morning. Focusing, sorry. Smack Studio. No, I've never used it. I know what it is, but I'm not into it. The road ahead. We are considering our funding, having just completed. I don't know if I need to say much here. Not commencing. Maybe commencing. It is a release timeline. It's a prospective release timeline. The character animation in that game did look really good. Yeah, for sure. Maybe I should put it here. It's kind of nicer in the dark space. I still think maybe this should be left aligned. I might do that anywhere else where I've done that too. I actually think that might be the only, this one. It works right aligned here. I'm trying to get the tree covering the... If I just do this and then I just do this. Then we're good. Why are you saying the road ahead when you already passed the road? Huh? That's the road. I might not understand what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, like this is it's quite optimistic, and it kind of hopes that we start. I mean, it's not that optimistic actually. Like this might extend, I can imagine. This might extend depending on what happens the next 6 months. But in general, yeah, the chapters are shorter. The chapters have less content as you go, and the content's easier to make, and we'll be able to like not reuse, but like work off of the back of existing content as we go. So it definitely should be. Chapter 3 and 4 are actually very short, in that they're like half the content of chapter 1. Just because the story moves faster. I could have called it a 4-chapter game, and this would have been chapter 3 together as one. But I didn't want to do that. If I called it a 3-chapter game, then it would have been chapter 1 would have extended a bit further, but anyway. All right. I might do this here, take this away. I did think, or maybe a little dark, but the purple, I don't know. No, that darker color's better. Where did these colors come from? Where did this color come from? Oh, I had a couple of different purples, right? So this would be like Mm. Probably not ballsy enough to write that. Then again, let's keep it 3. The reverse Uno card. Do you have experience? 3 years of experience doing Kickstarters. Distribution. Support period, yeah, it's patches, any additional managing of the products surrounding the game, like sales, for example. If we go on sale at a certain point, who like managing when we go on sale and how do we maximize revenue, stuff like that. There's also like a lot of bits and pieces around handling kind of like revenue distribution, or even like things like the soundtrack as a separate product, post-launch support for like any kind of like streaming or like events that we run. You know, Cult of the Lamb had a booth at PAX Australia last year. That was a huge booth. People they held wedding ceremonies at this booth. It was like a church inside of PAX. But that game came out like at the start of the year, and the PAX was in like October. I think it might have been the previous year. So like, who's managing that? The product basically post-launch. Was Cult of the Lamb 2023? Or like January 2024? We see opportunities to 2022. Wait, was that early access or like actual launch? That's crazy then. Divorce. Would be titles in multiple regions and on multiple platforms would be valuable to us. I gotta run, pals. I gotta run. Should I try? I might just try this way. I do like the 1, 2, 3, but it might be easier to just. Is it easy or difficult to do localization in Insignia currently? We don't do it yet. We haven't done any. So someone with a strategy and experience there who wanted to be involved would be beneficial to the project, valuable to the project. Which one do we think? Top or bottom? I'd of course have to fix this up a little bit. A/B test it. Oh, I'm not going to do that. Top, you prefer this one? Do you think maybe smaller font though? If I go like 24? Actually, you know what? I can do better. If I bring this all the way out to the side, and this one all the way out to the side, I think they can all be bigger. Right now they're 460. We could probably go 480. Top, okay. You're all toppers. It's a very flat one. Maybe I'll give these a couple of different colors just to keep it flavorful. No. Maybe I'll just do this, this, and this, and bring them. 165, 200. Oh no, it doesn't work. All right, my wife's going to be very upset with me if I don't finish up very soon. I can feel how she feels. My empathy meter is going off. What is this? Negative feelings I'm feeling? I think I'm going to be in trouble. All right. Cool. All right. Thanks, pals. It's called Guilt. That's the one. I gotta go. It was a pleasure. Thanks for checking out the stream with me. I won't be working on this on any other streams. I'm sending this off tonight. So back to development tomorrow, maybe even website. I don't know. We'll do something. We got to get something together on website. It might just be like a Squarespace something. But yeah, I'll catch you all. So that's the stream. I'm not going to raid anybody. I've been Adam. You've been the Pixel Pals. This has been the IndieTales Game Dev live stream. You can check me out on YouTube. You can check me out on Patreon. You got the YouTubers can check me out on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. I will see you all tomorrow. As always, I've been Adam. You've been the Pixel Pals. This has been the IndieTales Game Dev live stream. Until next time.